Hey, this is Ken Finnan from Capital Advantage Tutoring. See, it's my job to get you past the SIE and the Series 7. So let's do this. Stock splits. Okay, so when we talk about stock dividends and stuff like that, and stock splits and reverse splits, the actual total value does not change. But what does change is your per share price and the amount of shares you have, or even the options you have. So let's get going. So let's say we have a 2-for-1 split. That means you're going to get 2 shares for every one you own. We're doubling everything. So what I do, the easiest way, I do 2 divided by 1 equals 2. That's my multiplier. So I'm going to take that 2 and multiply it times the number of shares, and then I'm going to divide the price by that number. So now after a 2-for-1 stock split, you now have 200 shares at 25. So it's the same thing. 100 times 50 is 5,000. 200 times 25 is 5,000. So let's go over the call now. So since it's an even split, how do you know it's even? 2 to 1, 3 to 1, it's into 1. 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1. All those are even splits. That means we're going to get more contracts, but worth less. One contract, we know it's worth 100 shares. It's a 50 call. So we do the same thing, times 2, which means we're going to have 2 calls. We're going to have 2 IBM 25 calls now. So we'll have 2 IBM 25 calls. It works out to be the same. So let's go to the next one. 5 for 4. That's a 5 for 4 split. That means you get 5 shares for every 4 you own. Same thing. I do the same thing every time. 5 divided by 4. That gives me 1.25. So that's my multiplier. I'm going to do 100 times 1.25. That's 125. And bring out the handy dandy calculator. And do 50 divided by 1.25. That gives me 40. So I'll have 125 shares at 40. Again, 100 times 50 is 5,000. 125 times 40 is still 5,000. So again, 5 for 4. 5 divided by 4, 1.25. You get 125 shares worth 40 now. Again, the big number is still the same. It's still 5,000. But the thing is, in the options, you have to do it different. Since you can't get a quarter of a contract, you have to change the number of contracts in it. So, number of shares, since you can't get a quarter of a contract, you have to adjust the number of shares in the contract. So we know that every option has 100 shares in it. So instead of having a 1 1/4 contract, you'll still have one contract, but it'll be worth 125 shares. And then the price will go down. The call strike price will go down to 40. So now you still have so if you have a 5 for 4 split, you'll still have one contract, but it'll be worth 125 shares, but the strike price will be adjusted down, just like if it was shares down to 40. So let's try this one, a stock dividend. It's like a little mini split. So instead of doing I can't figure out how to do this any other way. So I just put 1 point and then whatever the stock percentage is. If it's a 25%, I do 1.25. If it's 10%, I do 1.1. So there's 1.1. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 100 times 1.1. That gives me 110. And then I'm going to do 50 divided by 1.1. 50 divided by 1.1 equals 45.45. So now I have 110 shares with a 45.45 price. Let's jump over to options. Same thing. So we still have one contract, but again, we have it's not an even split, so we can't have a 10% of a call. So we now have it's worth 110 shares, 1.1 times 100 shares, and the new strike price is 45.45. So easy. Now, the last one, 1 for 5 reverse split. You notice I'm all getting to a multiplier. It's the same process. 1 for 5 reverse split. That means we're getting less shares, but worth more. It's kind of like when a company is like really in the balls of its ass, it's really low and they want to raise the price up. Citicorp did it when it couldn't get about $5 a share. A lot of penny stocks do it to make it look better. Like Citicorp did a 1 for 10. It was a $4.80 stock. They did a 1 for 10. Now it's a $48 stock. It looks better. Usually it's a bad sign. And usually when there's a reverse split, all orders on the book get canceled because it's a bad sign. But let's do this. 1 divided by 5. Let me write it out. 1 divided by 5 equals 0.2. That's my multiplier. I'm going to do 0.2 times 100. So I'm going to do 100 times 0.2. That gives me 20 shares. And then I'm going to do 50 divided by 0.2. That gives me 250. So again, it's still worth 5,000 total, but now I only have 20 shares when I had 100, but they're worth 250 each. Looks better. Jump to the call. Now we have one call. So we're still going to have one call because you can't have a 20% of an option, but it's only going to be worth 20 shares. But then the strike price is going to be 250. So again, that's all it is. Stock splits, everything stays the same. The total value does is just your per share amount and price change. Okay, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe.